Are you being watched? Why, yes, you are. Excuse me. Microcells at Stockholm Central Railway Station in Stockholm, Sweden. Base stations. Hey, Frank, honey, how you doing? You doing okay? That's wonderful. Base stations at Sergel Plaza, Stockholm, Sweden, close to the pedestrians. You can see them on the building. Hello, Lloyd, Madeline, Lori. Good morning, everyone. My nose is starting to tickle. This is the left side, so that's a good sign. Yeah, hello, Sharon, Tracy, Patty. You can look up here. Base stations at Master Samuel Gostin. You can see where they're aimed. They're aimed right at the population. So if you're wondering, are we being watched? Absolutely, you're being watched. I'm being watched. You're being watched. It's a good grand rising. Your mother used to say the same thing. Yeah. Top of the morning to you. That's right, Betty. Yeah, Odetta, Lloyd. They're called, this is what they're called. Gino, Jessica, good morning. Someone once said when I first started off doing this back in 2018, will she quit saying hello to everybody? She spends 5 minutes saying hello to people when she gets on this video. Can she get to what she's talking about? They did all the time. I would. EME, SPY Selective Frequency Meter, Upper Detection Limit, 95522.5 WU, whatever, M, for each measured frequency, maximum level RMS mode. Results are given as the sum of all measured frequencies. NARDA Broadband Meter, Upper Detection Limit, 241 million. WM maximum level RMS mode, peak levels for Safe and Sound Pro 2 broadband meter, upper detection limit 3. Yes. Good morning. Actually, I was annals of clinical medical case reports. Spots with extremely high radio frequency radiation after deployment of the 5G base stations in Stockholm, Sweden. And we know it's in Stockholm, Sweden. We do. Look at that. It's CERN. Of course, CERN has a lot of electricity, but they also have a magnetic field. It's a member of CERN, Council European for whatever, the world's largest particle laboratory. You can see it right here. But it just so happens to be the highest place with spots with extremely high radio frequency is what it is. Stockholm really ranked up there. The reason this study demonstrates that the installment of 5G base station antennas is the reason for the highest exposure places in Stockholm City. Now that's just focusing on Stockholm, and I do not claim to be any expert on any of this at all. I'm not. I was just looking at it. Yeah. You was just thinking about that topic, awakened without a coffee? Yeah. They were once called the Watchers. Hey, Sharon, that is a really good tie-in to that, the Watchers. It's a good connecting the dots. It is. I like that. Yeah, I do. The Watchers. Extremely high. This is The aim of the study. They did all of the materials that were used in measuring the radiation and stuff like that, the design. They had the results. What was the results? It was the walking tour started at the Stureplan Galleria through the city, Central Station, downtown to the Old City, back along the main walking street to Drottninggatan, and back to Stureplan. Hello. The hotspots are displayed at several locations. These are the hottest spots for this stuff. It's if you live in Sweden, which maybe not too many people do, but these were the areas. The areas. They even took some pictures of it. Did we get past the pictures? I think they did downstairs, they did outside, seaside, townside. They did all the sides. They did. Public exposure to radio frequency in Stockholm, Sweden. They were made within 3 different meters, selective frequency meter, broadband meter, and therefore they're not quite comparable. Yeah, you can see it. I know nothing about the reading of frequencies and stuff like that. I don't, but I think this, the visuals are really telling. On top of the buildings, how they're pointed literally down at the pedestrians as they're walking. And some of the antennas, not this one, I think, but other ones were literally at head level, right by their heads, so they can get them at their heads. Look at that. If you see these on your building, low position base stations in Drottningham, Sweden, Stockholm. Base stations. I really do like, Sharon, that you said the fallen were once called the Watchers. I really like that. It's perfect. It makes sense. Do you feel like you're being watched? Are you being watched? Yeah, you are. Who was, yeah, I'm not going to read into that. I'm not, but it's quite telling. Shalom, kings and queens. I wonder, kings and queens, is there a difference between the spelling of the shalom, like the way you spelt it, and the spelling of shalom with the O, the U and the O, or it's just a matter of writing it? Don't even know what bathroom to use here. Hello, Carol, honey. Yeah, let's see those urban stations right here in the United States. List of urban format radio stations. Rhythmic contemporary. Oh, well, no, my gosh, look how small that is. I'd be going, that ain't really what I wanted. I wanted to look at the, it said the study found that cities with higher exposure to radio frequency electromagnetic fields, the RF EMFs, radio base stations, RBSs, had higher cancer mortality rates. And the study also found that the risk of cancer was the highest for the cervix cancer. Isn't that interesting? Why would it be that? Which is kind of strange. It is. But it is. Electromagnetic fields and cancer, radiation, electromagnetic fields, electromagnetic fields from power lines, and some spots that you can take to reduce your EMFs. If you're just tuning in, you are welcome. Welcome. You move further away from the source. You use the speaker on your phone or the corded headphones. You turn off your devices when not in use. You switch your cell phone to airplane mode, and you limit your number or length of your, hey there, Ronnie Honey, grand rising to you. Who's just looking at the ELMFs? The first indication that extremely low frequency electromagnetic fields were coming from power lines and electricity could result in the human disease that was the report of Wertheimer and Leeper in 1979, who found elevations in rates of childhood cancer in children living in homes in Denver, Colorado. Why on earth would it be Denver, Colorado? Let me look this up myself, you all. I'm going to look up the question that I asked about shalom or shalom. I want to look it up myself. Let's see if I can find a difference in it. The correct spelling is shalom, not shalom. Shalom is a Hebrew word that means peace and can also be used in greeting or prosperity, farewell. It can also mean harmony, wholeness, completeness, prosperity, welfare, tranquility. The word shalom comes from the root word wholeness or completeness. In Jewish literature is often associated with the idea of shalamut or perfection. In the Bible, Jesus calls the Prince of Shalom and the angels. Yeah. Which was, I used to see the word shalom, but then it got changed to shalom. Shalom. I want to look it up, you all. I've been thinking about that for a while, just for a tad bit, just for a minute. I'm going to look it up. Let me see if I can get it. No. They're not even, okay, that's Hebrew. It is shalom. Shalom is Hebrew, and it means shalom in English. Oh. Well, now I know. I know by looking it up myself because I didn't get an answer. I didn't. But that's okay. I'm used to figuring things out on my own, thinking for myself, thinking outside the box. And so are a lot of other people. It is. So thank you, kings and queens, for putting that there because I wanted to do a live thing, reading what that meant. What's the difference between shalom and shalom? Yeah. And it's okay, you all. If you got to do your own research, it's perfectly fine. If you ask a question and you don't get it, it's fine for you to go do your research. If you're curious about something, just like the electromagnetic fields, you hear a lot about the 5G. You do. The 5G, and you hear about the EMFs and stuff like that. I wanted to know about the Denver, Colorado. Look at this. Extremely low frequency electromagnetic fields and cancer. Are they they found a link. They found a link. And they cause health problems. They do. There's no evidence. Look, to conclude that exposure to that is harmful to human health. Okay. There isn't any at all. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of that song. Let's give them something to talk about. How about love? Love, that's right. Love is the most precious thing you could have living on the inside of you. It is, because it will sustain you through everything that you go through in this life. It will. There is a lack of love on the earth. There is. Yeah. We can do it. The electromagnetic fields. Well, when you think about Sweden, the cities, the spots with the extremely high rate of radio, whatever, high frequency. What happens when it goes to 6G? When it upgrades to 6G, what happens then? Because I know they put the 5G on hold because it interfered with the airlines. Remember that? 5G put on hold for airplanes. And you know what? Like you had all these birds. They looked disoriented. You had The whales in the sea, they look disoriented too. Look, this could ground some and make their wide body aircraft unusable. Why? Why would it? The signal can actually disrupt the readings that you're going to get on a radio, which could give the pilot a false altitude reading. Isn't that interesting? Why would they want to do that? Does it interfere with the aviation? It's highly susceptible to interfere with it due to its mid-band. Aviation safety. Let's look at that. The 5G and animals. And migration of animals. Let me see. I wonder if I'm just wondering. Oh, thank you, AI. Yeah, you're just tuning in. Stockholm in Sweden has very high rates. Extreme level, radio level, extreme. 5G technology uses a radio frequency electromagnetic fields, EMFs, to transmit data, and they may impact the migration of animals in several ways. This is AI. This is more or less telling you what the human beings won't tell you, but the AI will tell you. The navigation, the 5G wireless frequencies can interfere with the navigation systems of birds, making it difficult for them to migrate. The behavior, the electromagnetic radiation can affect the behavior of birds, including how they forage, mate, and migrate. Exposure to EMFs can damage the health of birds, reducing their reproductive success and impairing their immune function. The habitat. The infrastructure required for 5G, like antennas and base stations, can lead to habitat loss and fragmentation. Electromagnetic radiation may indirectly impact birds by affecting their food. The insects, including the honeybees, absorb more radiation from 5G spectrum, which could lead to changes in their behavior and their functions. There are no safety guidelines for wildlife that are equivalent to the ones for humans exposed to wireless radiation. The UK charity BugLife suggests that 5G transmitters should not be placed on LED street lamps because they attract the insects and increase their exposure. Studies have indicated that the birds and the insect, the crucial components of the ecosystems, may experience disturbances due to EMF exposure. The effects of non-ionizing electromagnetic fields on flora and fauna. Review adverse impacts on the orientation, the migration, the reproduction, and the survivorship of a species. Well, it may not look too good for the animals and the insects. It may not over long term. Yeah, it may not. Conspiracies keep coming true. The low-level effects on wildlife and plants. It's on the unique philosophy or physiology of non-human species, their extraordinary sensitivity to both natural and anthropogenic EMF. Look at that. The unknown effects. The study finds wireless radiation affects the wildlife. The coming 5G revolution, how will it affect the environment? The European Parliament. The animals and plants are under radiation stress. The potential threats. The Wi-Fi, if they're more sensitive than humans, so you know it's having an effect on humans. What are we told to? How are we being protected from it? I guess you're not. I guess you just got to stay away from it. The evil ones and their minions are given free rein, and it will worsen. It will worsen. It will. And you may not hear about it. You may not. I would like to see, if you're just tuning in, hello, let's type in the word 6G. 6G on here. Excuse me. That's the virtual network right there. The virtual network function migration considering load. What? The fusion of wildlife tracking and satellite geomagnetic from the Earth? A network dubbed the Internet of Animals is helping track. Well, they're paving the way. And 6G is anticipated to offer speeds up to 100 times faster than what you got now. It is. There's something called the 6 Bricks project. Reusable testbed infrastructure for validating cloud to device. Oh my goodness. What? Ly6G, monoclonal antibody 1A6LY6G persiflora. Well, I don't know nothing about that. I don't, you all. Are we being watched? Yes. And Sharon Rose said is the fallen were originally called the Watchers. And it could have some ties to us being watched. I'm not going to say it doesn't. I'm not. The pole flip is meeting up, y'all. The animals are their natural compass. They are. Yes, Ronnie. That's right. Tissue distribution. I was just looking at a mouse model of silicone. Is all I was doing about cell migration and I don't know how I got into all of this. Global Edition, the migratory. I'm not going to look at any of this, you all. I was just supposed to stay on topic is what I'm supposed to do. About the, right here, how are you going to bring the humans online? The radio base stations. It was really neat because in this study that they did right here, they showed where all the cameras were and they had infrared lighting. Look at that. Right there on top of the buildings, and it just sends it straight down to the pedestrians and in the master Samuelsgatan. You can see the base stations in Sergel Plaza, Stockholm, Sweden. Micro cells at the Stockholm Central Station. The cameras are always there. Look at them. Oh my God. Look at them back there. You all see, look at all of these low position base stations. Look how many there are. Just on this one street. They're everywhere. It's like a bombardment. It's even underneath the overhangs. It's everywhere. And it's like that in your city too. It's like that in my city. It's not like that in the country, but in the city, it's becoming more prevalent. Yeah. You think they use those big fancy words to confuse us? They probably do, Bruce, honey. But that's okay. There's no need to use fancy words when explaining things unless you want to really try to talk over people's head and not talk on their level. Yeah, that's a good way to use the fancy words. That way you talk way over them. You put yourself way above the people because they're beneath you. And that's how they do. And those who feel that they're not answerable, when you ask questions like that, the higher ups, when you ask them something, they feel that they are above you and they don't have to answer. Have you noticed that? You can question the government all you want, the people in high positions, the people who think they're higher than you, above you. You can ask them questions all day long. And because they think so low of you, they will not respond to your questions. They will tune you out and they'll just totally dismiss you. But then if you're like President Donald Trump, oh, they're going to tear you up. They're going to speak all kinds of manners against you. That's how they're going to do it. Yeah. That's all right, you all. That's okay. You got to rise above. Rise above it. Yeah. Just rise above it. That's exactly right. You rise above those who don't want to answer, who feel that they're above the law. Above the law. They're going to find out pretty soon. They're going to be under the hammer. They are. They're not going to be safe either. They're not. They know they're not. When that hammer comes down. Yes, you made the mistake of sharing your pictures, apparently. How did you, warrior? They think we're useless eaters. They do. And it's literally, it starts at the very top, and it just like spreads down and spreads down to even surface level humans who feel that way too, really, who aren't up there somewhere on that graph. They like that too. Fractals, source fractals. That's right, warrior. It's okay, you all. You got to keep going. You do. You're going to find out in the days and weeks and months to come. You're going to find out who's who among people on this earth and who's who among your inner circles, who's among your connections. You're going to find out who's who because they're not going to be able to hide it because the truth has a way of coming out. Even that which is done in secret, the light is going to shine so bright and there'll be no words. It won't be, well, I'm not speaking to you. I don't have to answer to you. No, they won't be able to because it will already be blasted out there. Yeah. That's how it's going to be. Just like that, it will be blasted out there. It always has a way. The truth always has a way of coming out. And the things that the people do in secret, they have a way of coming out. And the bad that people do to others, it truly does. I've always believed it my whole life. You reap what you sow. In ways, when you do something wrong, when you do something bad, it comes back at you in a way that you least expect it to come back at a time when you least expect it. Because it's 9 times out of 10, it don't often come back the way that you done somebody wrong. 9 times out of 10. Say somebody did you a certain way, and it really did something to you. They're sneaky and stuff. When it comes back to them, it hits them in a way that literally is going to get their attention. That's right. And the same goes if it's something good, it comes back to you at times, 9 times out of 10, much better than what you did. That's what happens. Yeah. Hey there, Pippi, honey. I never did watch the Pippi Longstockings. I never did. I wonder why they made that movie, Pippi Longstockings. Never did watch it. I thought, it doesn't sound appealing to me. Yeah. It is right, warrior. It does. Things catch up with people. It does. And as you get older, and you're also going to notice with the days and weeks and months to come, the mindsets of people are going to change too. They're going to wake up. They may realize, hey, I was wrong in my thinking. But now I see the light because the scales have been taken off your eyes. But some, their thinking will probably get even darker. The light, they will know. They won't accept the light. They won't accept the promptings of their inner spirit. They won't. And they'll turn to the darkness. They will. You're going to see it. You're going to see a bigger divide. You're going to turn to the darkness, and they're not going to turn to the light. They'll embrace the darkness even more because they can't face themselves. When a person embraces the darkness even more, it's because they cannot face their own self. And the darkness hides them from their self. And they feel safe in the darkness because they don't want the light shined upon them. But if you walk in the light, you're able to face yourself. You're able to look in the mirror. You're able to acknowledge. And you'll lean toward the light. You will. You become one with the light, spiritually speaking, or you're going to become one with the darkness. You will. Hey. Hey there, Al Honey. Great day, you all. That's right. It's freezing out there, Al Honey. I think it was like 36 degrees. It's not freezing yet. Perhaps at my home in Salem, it's probably, it dipped below freezing. Probably at least 32. Because there's always that big of a difference from the lower level. When you come down, it's a little bit colder up there at the top. Yeah. Al, honey, if you just tuning in, we is ooh, you got some toxicity symptoms. AI wants to tell you what's happening to you. Thank you, AI, which is the generative AI experiment. They want to tell you what's going to happen to you if you get some electromagnetic hypersensitivity. It's a general term for a range of symptoms that some people attribute to exposure to electromagnetic fields. And these symptoms include dermatological symptoms such as redness, tingling, burning sensations, and rashes. The neurasthenic, that's a word I've never heard in my life, neurasthenic, and vegetative symptoms, which are fatigue, tiredness, concentration, difficulties, dizziness, nausea, heart palpitations, digestive disturbances. Well, I think it's safe to say that there is a ton of fatigue and tiredness and difficulty focusing. There's a ton of tiredness. Neurasthenic. You got New Orleans in the house. Hello there, Todd. Yeah, we have a cool front that just arrived. It'd be nice sitting in front of a fire. It would, even if it was outside. Your nervous system. Your nervous system symptoms from EHS and EMF is headaches, stress, sleep disturbances, tinnitus, ringing in the ear. Other symptoms are your body pain, your muscle aches, your emotional lability, suicidal ideation, and temporal spatial confusion. This is what generative AI has put out there. You can see it. Electromagnetic hypersensitivity in a general term. I just had a deja vu. Just doing exactly what I'm doing right now, of symptoms that some people attribute to the exposure fields. All of these symptoms. However, the World Health Organization says that the association between these symptoms and EMF exposure can't be explained scientifically. They also say that these symptoms are usually due to other causes. For example, one study found that sleep disturbances reported by people with EHS were more likely due to their psychological factors than EMF. So there you have it. The who of who's said that, but generative AI said another thing. Now, granted, generative AI has access to all the information ever was out there, all the data, everything, and it put it into an overview. Generative AI has more access, more knowledge than the World Health Organization. But yet the World Health Organization says that the association between these can't be explained. But AI, it's just experimental. And AI says, well, this is for informational purposes only, and for medical advice or diagnosis, you need to consult a professional. So AI is telling you right now, this is informational purposes only. For medical advice or diagnosis, you got to consult a professional. But AI has access to every single paper, anything that's ever written, all the studies and everything. That's the good thing about AI. It speaks in ways, and it has the data to back it up. It has all the resources at its fingertips. All the resources. Mark Wachikowski. That's kind of funny. Well, they probably would say that. What are the symptoms of this type of sicknesses? Now, granted, what are the symptoms? Skin problems, redness, tingling, burning, sleep disorders, insomnia, dizziness, fatigue. And who did that come from? Did that come from this WebMD? But the World Health Organization said, no, you can't prove it. It's psychological. All of this. Look at that. AI said this is it. The WebMed said this is it. Who else said that? Universities, should you be worried? Psychological changes. Of course, it's going to bring you some psychological changes and symptoms associated with what? What is the National Institute of Health talking about? The physiological changes and symptoms associated with short-term exposure to electromagnetic fields, a randomized crossover provocation study. But the World Health Organization just told us. The World Health Organization told artificial intelligence that, Gina, you already clicked off of it. Well, you saw what they told us. Yeah. So if you're just tuning in, if you want to know something and you got a question you want to ask and you can't get answers from others, you do your own research. If they refuse to answer, do your own research. That's the only way you're going to be able to rise above those who do not want to come down to your level, who do not want to take accountability for their own actions, who think they're higher than you to have to speak back to you and answer to you. You got to do your own research and rise above those people who think they're above you, because that's what you do. When you do your own research, when you ask questions and you don't get the answers, rise above those who think they're above you. You can do it. You have it all within you to do it. You do. That's right. You can do it. We did it here. Yeah. That's right. Oh my goodness gracious, you all. So yeah, this is where we were. They said you can't, there's the association cannot be proven. That's what they said. It can't. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, we've already been there, done that. I'm gonna go, you all. I'm done talking. I am done talking. Let me go back to the spots with the thing. In Sweden, are you being watched? Yeah. Excuse me. This is a clinical paper. Are you being watched? Yes, this is in Sweden. You see the, it's pointed down at the people. And Sharon Rose said the fallen used to be called the Watchers. Well, the technology is watching. And as it watches, it's doing some harmful effects. it's doing some harmful effects because they had to do their tests on their mice and stuff like that too. They had to study that. They did. But there's no scientific proof, even though scientists did their studies. Thank you, WHO. Yeah. The World Health Opposition. Yeah. Oh, well. Thank you, generative AI. Yeah. Generative AI. It's great. I am going to go. You're so welcome. We did it together on here. We did. So y'all please give this video a thumbs up. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. No, you rise above. You rise above those who think they're higher than you, who feel they don't have to answer to you for whatever reason. You rise above it. AI rose above it. They did. They rose above it. Yeah, we can do it, you all. You can. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. Thank you, moderators, for everything. And you all, yeah, learn to think for yourself. Do your own research. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of change in mindsets coming. You're gonna know who's who all around you, in your connections. It's all going to come out. It's going to be an even greater divide. Like that. Yeah. So I'm going to go. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. Love you.